Okay, so yeah, today is about cleaning up your listings, and then there's a free demo. Again, there'll be a live demo on fixing your common SKU issues. So the agenda for today would be for you to understand what are SKUs and why they matter. So like I mentioned, a lot of times SKUs are very messy. And as we go along, I'll explain to you why it's important for you to get your SKUs correct. And we also know Lazada don't want your SKUs to be repeated. So there's some tips or tricks that I could share with you how to make sure your SKUs are correctly set up. Okay. So again, these common SKU related issues are also the same, when your SKUs cannot be duplicated, or maybe it's a old SKU, and then you need to always make sure the housekeeping is done correctly. And it is always very tedious at the beginning, but once that is done, as you go along, moving along with with your items, it will make sense. Okay. And then once we go through about these related issues on SKUs, I will show you a live demo on how to fix your SKU errors in your platform. More so on your tracking history. If you know OneCart has this tracking history on an account level and also an SKU level for you to understand what are the issues that you might be facing on your SKUs, which also correlates to your listings. At the end of the session will be a Q&A session. I will put aside 5 minutes for us to have Q&A sessions. Please feel free to use the chat box below for you to answer questions. If not, if you feel like you want to have like a more customized, you have more issues to address and you would like to have a Zoom call with me, reach out to me. You can schedule a call and I'll be able to go through your accounts for you. If, for example, if you've been actually have so much issues with one card and then maybe to you so far it's quite manageable, but I'm actually here to help you if you have any problems at all. Okay, so now let's go back to the first definition of what are SKUs. So SKU, as we know it, is stock keeping unit, right? It's a unique identifier for each product variant. So this unit is used for tracking, syncing, and selling. So it works as your like NRIC. Like every one of us have a specific ID, and this is what an SKU is. As I go along, I will also let you know, there's a lot of confusion between product code, product name, and then SKU variant. Again, it all means the same thing. It's just that different platforms they name it a different way, but actually essentially it means the same thing. Okay. Why are SKUs important? Because critically it's for inventory accuracy. If you've attended the previous webinars, one card's logic is that we do the order deduction whenever the inventory deduction based on your orders. So it's being identified by your SKUs. So these SKUs are very important. It is the whole backbone of how one card works like actually. So again, marketplace listing sync. It applies for each and every platform. If you're managing your platform separately, you know that it's important for the listing to be synced, you need to have your SKUs done. And I also know for Lazada, if you don't have your SKU, they will automatically generate for you. And I will let you know what's the pros and cons of having it auto-generated for you and if it's not. And also order fulfillment. Again, going back to point number one, inventory accuracy based on the orders, and then order fulfillment also, so you know what order comes in and what are these items are that is being ordered by the customers. So when you go to the common SKU issues, what we usually see is that more often than not is this SKU mismatch between systems. So it depends on so if I were to talk about mismatch, right? So sometimes you have an item, like say you have an AirPod Pro, right? So AirPod Pro, let's say it's white. So in Shopee you say APRW, for example. But maybe in Lazada you decided to spell it completely like AirPod Pro white. And then the other one is something else. So this will cause discrepancy because we are not able to track down what exactly the items are. So please ensure that your SKUs are unified. They are all standardized across platform. So yeah, like I said, if let's say you have a lot of products in your warehouse and in your marketplaces, it will take time to do this, but I will always recommend people to maybe close your shop or stop it for a day, get your SKUs right, Anyway, there's this SKU AI generator also that you're able to tap on, so you don't have to think about what you need to type one by one and all that. I will share with you. OneCart has this SKU AI generator, and I will share with you afterwards. So again, missing or null SKUs in OneCart, you are able to see that, for example, Shopee, you are able to list your listing is able to go live without having your SKUs inside, and this will cause discrepancy in OneCart. Also in Shopify, for an example, you want to have your listing go live, is fine, but you don't have an SKU. This SKU will be an issue because OneCart don't know what is that you're selling on Shopify. So always ensure that all these SKU field is being filled up across your platforms, so that you don't have this issue when you come back to OneCart and you're using the app. So again, incorrect mapping, as you know it, when we go for OneCart, we always map the SKU. That's why you have your inventory across platforms, but you're required to also upload the inventory into OneCart, because what OneCart does is whatever SKU you have in OneCart will be called OneCart SKU. And whatever SKU you have in your platform will be your Shopify SKU, Lazada SKU, your Temu SKU, FairPrice SKU, so on and so forth. Because I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but let's say for fair price, sometimes if you do it wrongly, then your SKUs cannot be changed. It's fine as long as you can map it to the correct SKU. So this mapping step is very important, and then it gives you an idea of it gives you a more of it gives you how do I say, it gives you more power for you to select or decide if you would like to match this SKU to a common SKU across your platform, but maybe this one platform the SKU is a bit different, and then you want to map it. OneCart allows you to do that, and it's very important for you to do it correctly. If not, SKU issues will lead to incorrect mapping. Another one is bulk upload errors, which more often than not happens. And then, but the good thing about OneCart is, if your bulk upload is a success, it will show a success. If not, it will fail. So always, if you realize there's a discrepancy to your SKU and you realize that it's because of bulk upload, go back to your bulk upload to see the status, whether it was a success, whether it was failed. Sometimes it was pending because you didn't confirm the bulk upload. So always do check and track back your steps. So point number 5 is this product updates that break sync. So this one is very, very, very important, because more often than not, you do changes to your listings. So for an example, Shopify, no, more often than not is Shopee and Lazada, because there you can keep reviews and your ratings for the listings. And then what people tend to do is they recycle this listing and they put a new product into that listing. When this happens, because the initial connection you have for that listing was, let's say, product A, and then product A is probably it was selling very fast, it had a lot of reviews, a lot of a lot of stars for that listings, and then you don't want to delete that listing because all these reviews are very precious to a seller. So what you naturally would do is to get product B and put it into listing A, for an example. So once you do that in the platform, in OneCart, it's broken. That listing is broken. So even if, let's say, you upload product B in OneCart, OneCart is not able to find that listing because listing A has always been listing A. So there is a way to do it and to automate it. I will speak to you and I will show you afterwards during our live demo. So basically, product updates, for example, changing of SKU variant, removing SKU variant, mostly is because of the SKU. Because of the API updates, changing the title or changing images does not break the listing connection. However, if you add or remove SKUs, will break the connection. So we need to do an extra step in OneCart, or OneCart is able to automate that for you. I will show it afterwards. So now we're talking about fixing SKUs issues in OneCart or your platform. So we use health check. So health checks basically tell you, later I'll show it to you, basically tells you about how we are able to see which SKU are at which platform. And if it's not, probably it's not connected again because of any of the previous reasons that I've explained to you just now. So we can cross-check SKU across your source of truth. We can use this using our SKU coverage and the health check. And then we can use listing, refresh, and quantity push tools. So this is the tools that OneCart has. One, to manually do it for you. You manually do it yourself. Or we have an automation that OneCart can do it for you. 5 a.m. in the morning. So I'll show you how to get that set up in OneCart. So you can also edit or remove SKU via product settings. So the product settings basically just tells you under our import view imports, you're able to remap it if you delete the SKU. I will show it to you afterwards as well, okay? But most importantly is I will also speak to you the in order of priority. So again, to fix SKU issues, if you use a bulk update, and then you must always double check. So for an example, when you do a bulk update and then you realize OneCart has this any file that you have uploaded will be saved in the bulk upload section. Again, it's the same thing in other platforms. OneCart has it too. So you can refer and check against that file that you have uploaded. For example, you realize, oh my goodness, this file that I uploaded, I didn't realize it, but I actually set all my quantity to 0. At the very second when you realized it, re-edit your file, re-upload it. It wouldn't take 1 hour. Maybe you will probably lose like 15 minutes of having like downtime where you're not able to make any sales. But bug update is a very useful tool. So let me jump into our live demo, okay? Like I mentioned, to have your SKUs, always have your SKUs unified, right? So what you want to do is, right, like I mentioned to you, OneCard has this SKU AI generator, which I think a lot of people might not know. So what you can do is to get to our website, get1cart.com. If you take a look here under resources, we have this thing called free SKU generator. So for an example, you have new products coming in, and then maybe 10 over products, whatever. You can just, for example, let's say, click on, let's say you have some content here. So maybe my content is, okay, this is not a good example. So maybe for example, I can just, this one, right? McDonald's grade A, 100% pure maple syrup. When you click on it, OneCart will generate your SKUs here. So this is a good SKU, which, well, like I said, again, SKU is something that you want to use for your orders, right? So at one glance, that it's a McDonald's griddle, 100% pure. So even for example, if it's like 500 ml, you might want to put it there as well. So a lot of times, when I look at a lot of SKUs, they probably just do like, let's say if my company is Shas, then it's a Shas company, right? Shas, and then they go like A100, and they say this is my company again, I got item B200. So just A100, I mean, it's a simple SKU for you to key in, but at one glance, you are not able to understand what the SKU is. And it's ideally it's good if you can just looking at SKU, you know what exactly your products are, especially if you have a huge inventory in your warehouse. So OneCart is able to do a free AI SKU generator. So this is how you are able to upload, and then OneCart is able to, all this is in the website. I don't need to go to our app. You are able to do to create unlimited SKUs in OneCart. Okay. So going back to our app. So like I mentioned, SKUs are important. And then more often than not, people get confused between product code, product name, SKU variant, seller SKU, what else they call it? SKU, just SKU itself. It essentially means the same thing. But what I want to bring your attention to is this called product code and product name and SKU. So what is the difference between product code, product name, and SKU? So as I mentioned, SKU is a short form, right? Like usually is the stock keeping unit. So let's say that is my NRIC number is my SKU, right? Your IC number is the SKU. So let's say, but my product is, for an example, my product is, let's say the shampoo is L'Oreal. Let me just bring this up. So what I need you to understand is, of course, a lot of people tend to get confused with OneCart about product code and product name. So product name basically explains to you, it describes the product. So it could be a L'Oreal shampoo, hydrating shampoo, right? Because this is the hydrating shampoo. And then this one is at maybe 150 ml, right? And then you have your SKU will be L'Oreal hydrating shampoo, 150, for example. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. 1 second. Let me just bring this up. Okay. So it's L'Oreal Hydrating Shampoo 150 ml. This is SKU. Again, that's the IC of the product. So product code can be anything. So a lot of our users, this is something I want to clarify first. Okay, they want their product code to be the same as SKU because they don't want to group the items whatsoever. So what I mean by grouping, right? So if let's say my product code is L'Oreal, let's say my product code can be LHS. Okay, so it's L'Oreal Hydrating Shampoo. So also later in OneCart, you see this thing called option name and option value. Okay, so option name could be the volume. Option name can be the volume. And then the option value is 150. Okay, so what is the confusing part is this LHS. So LHS is basically a group, how you want to group the item. So if I were to do it like this, L'Oreal Hydrating Shampoo 150, it can also be a L'Oreal hydrating shampoo 100, let's say 500 ml, and then you have it also in 1 liter, for example. Hydrating shampoo. So you got this in 1 liter, right? So again, this one will be very easy. LHS 500, then LHS 1 liter for an example, right? So then again, this volume will be volume, and then 500, and then this one's the 1,000. Sorry, maybe this one can be 1,000. So what essentially it does is the group name is all the same, so LHS. So what does that mean in OneCart? So what it basically means in OneCart is that it will all be grouped in one page. So for an example, if I did that, right, the product code is LHS. You would see that the 150, 500, and 1 liter, the 1,000 ml will appear on one page. So for example, if I were to do this, it will all appear in one page. So for example, this is M731A601, right? So you have SML. So it's all grouped in one page. So everything will be here because the page is according to the product code or product name. I hope you follow me, right? Okay, so it's just basically housekeeping in OneCart. It does not affect. So again, let me just reiterate. This thing, a product code and product name does not affect your how it looks like in your seller centers, in your platforms. What matters the most is this one. But just to bring your attention to this is if for an example, as you know it right now, OneCart is able to upload your inventories in 3 ways. So one way is you do it manually with a bulk upload. Two is for you to create from platform. So this create from platform, right, basically tells you that OneCart is able to automatically check whatever listings that you don't have in platforms. So whatever you don't have in OneCart will be port over. So for an example, if say you don't have these 5 SKUs, you just added it yesterday. When you click on click create from platform, you click on it, OneCart will immediately port it over. However, if you do it, so let's say your listing is, for example, it's called L'Oreal shampoo, right? And then in that listing you have 5 variants. So all your 5 variants will appear under one product code. Okay, this is something for me to just highlight to you because a lot of people they don't realize that whenever they create from platform, it pretty much mess up their product code and product name and how they want to group their items, because it will affect for those who wants their SKU and product code to be 1:1. So for an example, if you want your product code to be LHS 1,000, and then this one 1,000, you do the create from platform, it will mess it up. And then when it's messed up, it's very difficult. It's harder to clean up rather than if you just get it straight from the beginning, right? So don't always take note that if you want your product code and your SKU to be the same, I would suggest that you do not create from platform. Okay, just do a bulk upload. Do not do this. Just simply just go bulk upload and then upload whatever missing SKUs there are. It's not difficult lah actually, right? So that aside, so now you understand how product code, product name what's the difference? Basically, it just tells you how you want to group your SKUs, right? So the next one I want to talk about, last time we were talking about health check. So to know what are where your SKUs are, like I mentioned there's this thing called SKU coverage and unlinked variants. So basically it just says that, like I say, one card SKU is one card SKU, right? And then we have platform SKUs. So we know that we need to match it. I will show you again what it means. I will just I'll run with you the process again. But for an example, you want to check like, okay, I want to check if SKU A, B is in all platform. So what you can do is go to health check under SKU coverage, click on the select the platform that you want to check against, and then you generate report. So what this does is it will give you a table showing you whether this SKU exists in Shopify, Lazada, your Fair Price, or your RateMart. If it does not exist, it just means that one card has not connected to it, or two, you do not have the listing lah. So if you don't have the listing, you can cross post it. So cross post is also very easy. I can speak to you another day on cross posting in another webinar. But today, just to tell you high level, just looking at this, I can tell you that, okay, with my SKU 00002, I only have it in Lazada and I don't have it in other platforms. So when you see red, it basically means it's not there. And when you see the numbers here, you go and say you people tend to get confused and say, huh, only left one is it in Lazada, and there's only two is it in Lazada? No, this number basically just indicates how many listings are there, which has the SKU in the platform. So this tells you that the SKU in staging Lazada has one listing, and then for this SKU, there's two listing in the platform for the shop staging Lazada. So this gives you a good idea of where your SKUs are at. Okay. Again, very hard to say in OneCart app. You can actually download it in CSV. So if you try it on your account, you will see on the right hand side there should be CSV. I think it's taking a while because OneCart's SKUs and listings are a bit messy lah. But if you check on your account right now, there you go. There should be this CSV button. You can click on it, it will download it, and then it's the same thing. You are able to compute the data there. Okay, so there is your SKU coverage. So just now I want to talk about the matching, right? So more often than not, the mapping is wrong. Let's just quickly just go to it for a while. Okay, the bug upload. When I was saying like if you don't want to you cannot do the create from platform because it's not 1:1, do your bug upload, right? So when you do bug upload, like I said, across all platforms it's the same. You're able to download all these files that is being created for you or created by you, so you can check against the file that you have uploaded earlier. So if you go under health check under unlinked variants, you're able to see the SKUs that are not connected to any listings, and it should not be, right? Because you want all your inventory to be connected to listing unless it's delisted or you're not selling it anymore, or it's just a redundant SKU, then of course it should be. However, if you just go to unlinked variants and do a quick check, and then you see like, hey, these SKUs are not supposed to be there, so you need to go back and check where the listings at. So here's the process. So once you have gone to unlinked variants and you realize that, hey, this SKU not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be connected to maybe, for example, Shopify. I have this SKU in Shopify. So what you want to do is you will go to view imports, e-commerce listings, import listings, go to view imports. Again, view imports is where all your listings will just be thrown here. Whether you match it, you don't match it, whether it's active, inactive, it's all will be thrown here because we have this powerful filter which is able to search for your SKUs. So for example, you have that SKUs there, you want to click, then you will have to select on the containing SKU, copy paste this SKU, and then you're able to search for it. And then let's say all platforms. For example, I say usually when you can't find your listings, usually it's because it's inactive. So always best to just turn this on to all when you want to search for a listing. And then you want to show whether it's matching one card or not. So if it's no, it's inside. If it's yes, and then it will also show as well. So again, say you click apply filter, then you realize, so now you can see it here, right? So maybe you go like, Shopify is supposed to have it as well, but OneCart is not showing. So you need to go to Shopify, tell Shopify to import your listings over. So you go here, manually import now, click on Shopify and import selected. Basically just telling Shopify to, please bring all my Shopify listings in one cart. I want to do something about it. So when it's over here, then you will start mapping it. So what I was saying about mapping is essentially here. So you see here, TikTok SKU is this one, and you have already uploaded the SKU. So you want to match it. So like I was saying, right, if you do not want to change your SKUs in your platform, you think it's too messy, especially for fair price. So fair price, the issue is at the beginning, if you were to set up your SKU wrongly, if I'm not mistaken, Amazon as well, that's it. It's either you delete and upload again that product, or you have to use the SKU for life lah. So in OneCart, there's a workaround. You just take the TikTok SKU, for example, the fair price SKU, and then you find the OneCart SKU and match it. And no issues really. OneCart is able to track it down. Okay. Let me see. So okay, so to end this, remember we was talking about if you make any changes in your listing, and then it might break the connection of the listing because there's changes, and then you need to refresh it, right? So what OneCart does, so there's two ways to go about it, right? First, when you go to manage listings, again, import listings, view import shows you all listings will just be thrown there. Match, not match, active, not active, delisted, shop deactivated, all will be there, okay? However, if you go to manage listing, it will only show you listing that is connected to OneCart. So for an example, you tell me, hey, I just made changes to this listing. I need to do something about it. No problem. Just go to manage listing. Under the search bar, search for the listing's name. So for example, if you already know the listing name, and then you found it, for example, this one, click in view in OneCart. When you click view in OneCart, you can click refresh and match again. So when you say refresh and match again, so for example, this one you see is May 8 at 9:36. If I refresh and match again, you will see that the time will run to 10:29. So basically what OneCart does is OneCart will ping Lazada in this instance, say, hey Lazada, please refresh these listings with this ID. So this is the ID of the listing, right? Please ping with this ID and tell them to update this listing should there be any changes. So if the changes are here, then it will reflect and then it will refresh and match. So this is how you manually do it. OneCart is able to automate this for you by going to your shop settings. So you can, it's only offered in Shopify, Lazada, Shopee, not on TikTok. So for example, if I go to Shopee, so the action of that I just mentioned to you is called refresh and match. So you want your refresh and match to be yes. And it will be done at 5 a.m. every morning. So if you have made any changes and you don't feel like doing anything about it, or you happen to forget about it, don't worry. As long as this is set to yes, 5 a.m., OneCart will be able to do that for you. Okay? Okay, I think I overrun a bit. 10:25 supposed to be Q&A. Okay, so right now I think that's about it that I have for you guys on your SKUs. If you have any question, feel free to ask out in the chat box or in the Q&A section. If not, I will just keep on there. So I'm gonna end 10:35. Okay, sorry guys, I spoke a little too much. So I'm gonna spend another 5 minutes to see if there's any questions here. Let me see. Oh, okay. There's a question here asking, okay, what if the SKU is uploaded, but I have changed quantity, but it's not showing? Oh, okay. So two things to check. If your SKU, you have uploaded SKU in OneCart, right? You have created it, and then you matched it. So for example, we'll just find one SKU here. So for example, you are telling me you have changed 8. Let's say you change this to 10 lah. You change this to 10 and then you don't see it reflected. So two ways to check it is, first, you have to make sure that the listing is connected. So to know whether the listing is connected, like I said, the shortcut is for you to just click on this number. It tells you how many listings are connected to this queue. So if I click on this one, I can see, oh, only Q10 is connected. So if you're checking against Shopify, of course, don't have lah, right? So when you check, so then you will need to go back to the step that I show you. You have to go to view imports, and then you import the listing. Ask Shopify to go and send whatever listing they have, and then you find it, then you match it. And then once you've done that, you should be able to see the two here. And then you can either force push quantity here, or you go to the listing and force push. But the force push will all not work if your auto update is not turned on. So do ensure that this is turned on. Okay. So again, there's no how to say, there's no hard rule about it. Like, oh no, you have to turn on auto update first, then you can update quantity. No. As long as you understand how the flows goes, it's fine. If you turn on you turn on auto update first, then you change quantity, then you immediately push. But for example, if you change quantity first, haven't turned on, right? Then you turn on, OneCart won't push it, but you have a button here to push it. So it depends on it depends on how confident you are. Like, okay, I'm ready, I'm totally done with this skill. I can just let it go live, then you turn it on, then you update the quantity immediately. If not, there can always be an extra step where you don't turn this on first, change quantity, check all the quantity correct, turn on, then you must push the first quantity. Yeah. Turning the auto update does not push the quantity to your platforms. So yeah, two ways, okay? If your SKUs are not showing, the quantity is not showing correctly. So either broken, you must refresh and match, listing not connected, or your auto update not turned on. Okay. So one more that I just want to say before I end the webinar. So remember I was talking to you about issues you have with SKUs. So usually you go like, okay, same just now going back to the same question that you the just now the question that I just answered. So they were saying that this quantity was not updated in the platform. And then what you want to do is, so that is how you, what I mentioned was how you can do or how you can fix it. But this added step where this, when you click on view tracking history, basically tells you what actually happened. Okay. So when you go to view tracking history, it tells you that quantity changed to 10 lei, but haven't pushed, because rightfully it's supposed to be like this. Quantity changed to 10, quantity changed to 8, and then it's pushed to Q10, then it's pushed to Shopee. Rightfully must be like that. So let's say if this doesn't happen, either haven't the system is a bit slow because a lot of apps are running, or like a lot of actions are happening back end. But for example, you will see here, you go like, my Shopee never reflect like the quantity 8. Yeah, confirm, because I can see from OneCart Shopee got error. So you click on view logs, then you will see here the error message. So it can vary from one error to another. Again, if you don't know how to decipher or understand the error, reach out to me, say, Shaz, what is this error? We don't understand. I will help you. But ideally, if you usually when they say, it's very straightforward, when the item ID is not found, basically tells you that this item is no longer there. And then what you need to do is, again, like I mentioned, refresh it or go and search for the listing, and then you're able to find it. So the important thing about OneCart, as long as you remember, you understand the process very solid, right? You're able to actually debug very easily also, and for you to understand what's going on with your SKUs. Okay, so what you did here was SKU level on your tracking history. If you go to view entry, view inventory, tracking history, this tracking history tells you all the errors or all the events that's happening in your account. So for example, who changed what, is was there any order that came, or if you want to see any errors, you're also able to see here. Click on show failed attempts. And then OneCart will only show you the errors. So this is also a good habit for you to incorporate in your workflow, maybe in the morning, so you know if there's any error that happened through the night, and then for you to just check back and then see is there any disconnected listing. Because when you see an error, when they say item ID not there, basically they cannot connect. Then you know that because I did a change to the listing yesterday and then it's not refreshed correctly, or I forgot to turn on the refresh button for the settings. So it could be many things at once as well. All right. Any more questions? Any questions from anybody today? In that case, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for, oh, sorry, I forgot to share something. I forgot to share this one. Okay, so let me end the webinar. So I do see a couple of familiar faces and I think one or two new faces, new names, no face. Yeah, thank you for taking your time with the taking time to attend the webinar today. I hope it was insightful, and if it's not, I know you have more questions or maybe I didn't answer your question. Please feel free to reach out. Um, if you're new to OneCart and you think this is something that you want to give it a try, please, I always encourage for you to just sign up for the trial account. 2 weeks, let's say just test 10 SKUs, 10 or 15 SKUs. Let this run. Once this is running, then you see whether it's working for you. You can do it on your own for 2 weeks, or alternatively, you can reach out to my colleague. You can scan the QR code. So scanning the QR code basically just tells you, it will bring you to this link where you're able to book a demo call with Matt. And what Matt will do is Matt will see what is good for you and which plan is good for you, and how OneCart is able to help you with your issue currently, and how we are able to help to expand your business eventually. So yeah, start your free trial now at https://get1card.com. QR code to just book a call with my colleague Matt. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I always overrun my webinar. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of the webinar. Any questions, reach out. Do feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help. And yeah, thank you so much. We should be having another webinar next Thursday. Stay tuned. We are is in the pipeline for us to have a webinar with SPX. So I think this is something new. SPX is coming in to have a webinar with us as well. So keep we it should be already in the pipeline. It's just that I think they have yet to confirm the date. So stay tuned, okay? Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for your time. Have a good weekend ahead. Bye-bye.
Ready to take your e-commerce business to the next level? With OneCart, you get effortless inventory syncing, streamlined listing management, and seamless multi-platform integration. Don't just take our word for it, hear from our happy customers. Experience the OneCart difference and start your free trial today. Simplify your workflow, grow your business. OneCart, your all-in-one e-commerce solution.